Now, after a long time of pull and push among the former NASA principals, President Uhuru Kenyatta has managed today, in his own wisdom, to bring these leaders together to discuss a number of issues, including the succession politics of Kenya. Because remember, we are just 1 year to the next general election. So Uhuru Kenyatta is not leaving anything for a chance. And in this meeting, the ODM leader Raila Odinga attended. Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Senator Musalia Wetangula, and Gideon Moi were part of this meeting. And the Kakamega governor also, who is also the deputy party leader of ODM, Wycliffe Oparanya, attended that meeting. So after that meeting, the spokesman office, Kanzadena Marora, released a press statement. And this is the statement that was released. President Uhuru Kenyatta meet political party leaders in Mombasa. So it goes on to say, Uhuru Kenyatta held a consultative meeting with a cross-section of political party leaders to discuss subjects touching on the state of the nation. Political party leaders Raila Odinga, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Gideon Moi attended the meeting at State House, Mombasa. Also present was Kakamega governor and ODM deputy party leader Wycliffe Oparanya. Subject discussed: COVID impact, how to revamp the economy, maintaining peace, unity, and cohesion. So that is the statement that was released after these leaders had their meeting. Now, before we check into the motive of this meeting on this punchline, I have a reminder to you. You might be watching me and you have not yet subscribed. Please subscribe to help us to grow this platform. Again, to all the returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much for your unconditional support. Now, let us continue with our discussion. Now, one thing that is clear to Kenyans is that in as much these leaders are saying that they were discussing other things to do with the cohesion, COVID impact, and maintaining unity, the truth of the matter is that Kenyans understand that this was purely a political meeting and not all those other things that they're trying to coalesce around. So that is the first thing that we have to understand about this meeting. And the one true fact is that President Uhuru Kenyatta understands that he is almost finishing his second term in office, and now he will be proceeding to retirement. And having this fact in his mind, President Uhuru Kenyatta is not leaving anything to chance. The president is preparing his succession ahead of 2022 general election. That's why you see the president is deeply involving himself in bringing these leaders together, whom he believes that they are the right people who can take over the leadership from him, in his own view. Now, there is one thing that I've maintained on this channel, that the easiest way for President Uhuru Kenyatta's preferred candidate among these NASA principals to win election, then he would have to have all these NASA principals working together ahead of that general election. Because this was the winning team when President Uhuru Kenyatta was contesting in 2022 general election. And another issue is that some of the supporters of President Uhuru Kenyatta in Jubilee did not believe in the leadership of these NASA principals. They had other mind. Again, they did not have interest in the leadership of these leaders. So for that reason, these other NASA principals should have maintained together until to the ballot, because these are the people who had same ideas and ideologies that they were campaigning on. So maintaining them was the thing that the president could prefer, and the ODM leader Raila Odinga. And because of that reason, that's why you see President Uhuru Kenyatta is on that journey, making sure that in as much NASA coalition has died, he should look for another way of coming up with another coalition that will foresee this team winning the next general election just easy, simple, and in the first round. Because another issue could be that in as much the president could have some good votes with Raila Odinga, the truth of the matter is that if these other NASA principals, assuming Mudavadi and Kalonzo might be on a ballot, or might stay in One Kenya alliance to the end and have a one candidate, then Raila is here running, Ruto is here running, The fact is that definitely we were going to foresee a rerun in that election. So that also in one way is going to cost the government for facilitating a rerun election. So President Uhuru Kenyatta, looking into this issue, in his own wisdom, believe that the easiest way is to have these leaders together, go in the election just one time and win that election. Because another truth is that in as much we can have a rerun, the easiest way will be also, maybe, let's assume the Kalonzo Mudavadi team come the third. For them to make the next year election, definitely we are going to support Raila Odinga. Because that's the easiest way they can go. So, having this in mind, the president is looking for a way to negotiate with these leaders. In as much you might be pushing for a rerun, why can't we look for a way that we can work together, look on how we can share the government in the next general elections, then we just work in one round to save this money to do other things. Simply we still have COVID that is still facing Kenyans. The life has become so hard and so expensive to maintain. So that is also one of the issue that is pushing President Uhuru Kenyatta to go for this former NASA principles. And again, there was a presence of Governor Paranya, who is not a party leader. And again, another trick thing is that we are having 3 leaders from Western region. We understand Musyoka Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi are party leaders. Oparanya is not. But now, these 3 leaders are here. Remember, lawyers complained when President Uhuru Kenyatta had a meeting with some of the governors in the Western region to do with the economic agenda of Western region. So they complained of isolating Musalia Mudavadi. So President Uhuru Kenyatta has realized this issue that it is not going to be easy to separate Musalia Mudavadi or isolate him, then expect to get a full support of Western region vote. So having that one in mind also, they understand that William Samoei Ruto, the deputy president, is having some grip of central region vote. Let's assume he can get a half or 80 or even 70% of those votes. It tells you that President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga should look for another place to get that vote, to fill that gap. And which among Kenyan region is the best to measure the vote that will come from central region. It tells you that the only region which can do this magic definitely is Western region, which is the second largest region in Kenya, the second largest community in Kenya. So, and even that is the matrix Raila Odinga has been using every time we get to ballot to equalize the vote that always come from central region. So, having this in mind, in my view, I feel this is the reason why Uhuru had to bring Wetangula, Mudavadi together, then the presence of Oparanya. Though Oparanya is not a key player there, but his presence is just important simply because to some extent they have understood that Musalia Mudavadi has not been playing balls. And they still understand that in as much you can have Oparanya on the desk, still Oparanya cannot deliver what Mudavadi can deliver to that table. So all these things playing together, that's why you see the presence of these 3 loyal leaders in that meeting. So definitely, we are just giving our views. But one thing that I'm sending here, maybe after this meeting going forward, because we believe this was a political meeting, one thing that might come out clear is the new formation of the new alliance. And this alliance will not be formed by one individual or 2 individuals then calling other people inside. It is definitely going to be formed with all these individuals working together going forward, if they have agreed or if they are going to agree in that formation. So there is that possibility. But again, in as much as they are going to form that alliance, one thing that is coming out clear is what are they going to share there. Since now these are some of the big wigs from this coalition. Like you can't tell someone like Musalia Mudavadi you will give him a ministerial position as maybe a cabinet secretary or a minister. Definitely he cannot take that. That for him is small. Someone like Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka cannot take a ministerial position. He can't take. Definitely you need to give him something that has some respect in it. People like Gideon Moi, Senator Musyoka Wetangula, they can take those positions. Akina Oparanya. But now, the biggest question is taking care of Musalia Mudavadi interest and Kalonzo Musyoka interest into that matrix. Once you deal with that, then that is the easiest way you can convince these guys. And also taking care of Raila Odinga interest. So these three people are the key player in that matrix. What position are you giving to Raila Odinga? What are you offering to Musalia Mudavadi? And what are you offering to Kalonzo Musyoka? These three other individuals can be dealt with quickly and easily. And in my view, I feel having this in mind, then the next step that I think is for President Uhuru Kenyatta to think on how they can use the National Assembly to draft a bill that will foresee some changes in our constitution, which will bring in the position of Prime Minister. Then you have some deputies there. Having that, then you have solved this issue where one person can take a Prime Minister position, then another one can be a running mate to the other. How wengine they can be sorted out. In my view, I feel these are the things that maybe these leaders have discussed in that meeting. Because there is no way you will just call in Kalonzo or Musalia Mudavadi to come and support, or even Raila Odinga to come in and support your ideas without taking care of his personal interest. Because in politics, interest comes first. So these politicians will always have their interest being taken care of first before you go into any other issue. So for that reason, in as much Jubilee were looking for a way of going into a coalition with ODM or going into a merger, I think they put a break. Because the president understood that that cannot be enough to succeed into power. The presence of Kalonzo is deeply needed. Musalia Mudavadi is deeply needed. You cannot do away with these leaders. So having that in mind, I feel this is one of the reasons that informed Jubilee Party to go slow into going into that formation of unity or merger of ODM and the Jubilee Party. And lastly, I know these leaders might have discussed the issue to do with the One Kenya Alliance. Take it this way. Gideon Moi, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Senator Musalia Wetangula are in One Kenya Alliance. So already 4 principles are aligned in One Kenya Alliance. The only person who is out here is Raila Odinga. So they can even go into that matrix of discussing on how to bring the ODM leader into that table of discussion. And then what are you offering to Raila Odinga as you welcome him in that line? Also, that is what another possibility of discussion in that meeting. Thank you so much. Tell me in the comment section, what do you think that was part of the discussion between these leaders in that meeting that they held? We are going to wait and see how these people are going to play out their politics, and then we'll come out with our view. May good God bless you and see you in our next video.